and this was pointed out to me. Ask Cameron what he thinks about solar punk.
I'm not familiar with it.
Neither am I.
Solar, it sounds like a, I'm going to assume it is not a musical genre and is in fact the latest, like, cyberpunk evolution.
It's a...
Oh, this is super neat.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just Google searching it.
Solar punk is a very positive outlook for the future. It's a lot of living cities in the way that
I like this a lot.
plants are incorporated into everyday life, and clean energy.
I would have... I think the last time I've seen something like this, it was called Bright Green Ecology.
It has a couple... It's a relatively new, like, punk, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, neat.
Yes, please, as a bio major.
Agreed.
Well, I mean, like, eventually our cities will probably look quite different from what they look like now, right? I mean, this probably isn't going to last too long, and I mean, I remember thinking maybe we'll all wind up kind of living in houses that look a lot like, you know, the elves from Middle-earth, right?
That'd be
where it's
amazing.
like, you know, nice house. When did you start growing it? Right?
Yeah.
We already have some art installations around the world that do resemble some concepts for solar punk. Usually in parks and things.
In Vancouver, they're building several. In Vancouver, it seems like every skyscraper they put up now has a forest on top of it.
Yeah, we're seeing them here too.
Trees and a garden.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of universities have those as well.
Yeah.
Green roofs
I mean,
are...
green roofs are kind of like a thing. I'm not sure how effective they are.
And
They
they're
reduce
very
the-
rough.
Okay.
Like they're because it's like you have to change the envelope of your building on top to kind of deal with the fact that now you're holding an awful lot of weight because you're trying to retain water and you're trying not to let water seep through to the rest of the thing as opposed to shedding it. It's a difficult process, but also can help with like insulation and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Dirt is a very good insulator.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I imagine you're also creating like a lot of micro environments for like, you know, songbirds and
Yeah. I know at Thompson Rivers University, the one I went to in Kamloops, their newest buildings have like shrubland, since it's semi-arid there, living roofs on their newer buildings.
Okay, cool.
I really like. I love how this all looks, and I think it's really, really neat. But phrasing it as like the positive future to people like me who have insane allergies.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I was
right?
just about to say,
Hell.
need to solve that
Yeah.
just first.
Literal hell in the spring.
Oh, my house is budding.
The
Yeah.
plants
Oh,
are on the
boy.
outside.
I mean, I already live in Victoria, which is, well, Oak Bay, so I'm surrounded by beautiful gardens
Oh, this is nothing.
that are.
Try the prairies during the summer.
Oh,
I'm
Try
Okay.
Kamloops.
my mother's
oh my
family.
noggin.
We are from the prairies.
Okay.
I had
Okay.
an allergy test. I am allergic to literally every form of grass that grows on the prairies.
Oh,
And
wow.
what
Me
tri-
too!
what tribe are you
Same
from?
here.
Sweetgrass. I'm from the
Yay.
Sweetgrass First Nation.
Ah.
The first couple of years I lived here after moving from the Hat. My allergies didn't know how to flare up because like where's all the pollen?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
so like the first couple of years while they were trying to figure out what the things I was allergic to heal were, was like really nice until we had the first really dusty summer. Then they learned what it was.
Ah.
Oh,
Then it
I
started
mean,
getting
yeah.
oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
I just said Talonley before it goes away. Talonley has a really nice way of explaining the punk and solar punk. It is literally rebelling against the idea that we are doomed.
Oh, I like that.
Oh.
That's really, I like that. It's very
Yeah.
punk rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably like a large challenge with like, okay, so you've got this enormous garden or a park on top of a building, but normally a park is not on top of a building, right? It's on top of more dirt, right? And it borders on more dirt, and the act of elevating it you probably become fairly quickly aware of how much you rely on those neighbors, those neighboring environments to keep that alive.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, this is one thing that crops up when you see people talking about designing like living spaceships, right, with environments on the inside. As it turns out, those environments are actually like very interdependent with their neighbors, and they need to get very, very big before they can be sustainable, which is something that you were looking at with what is the acronym that's used when you have large or mini small?
Oh yeah, no. Well, I've been reading. I'm almost done. I've been working on this since like May, but it's a 600+ page book. So I'm almost there. But I'm reading the Song of the Dodo by David Quammen, which is kind of an ecology classic. It's amazing. It's about island biogeography, which everybody I tell about sounds really boring to them. But
we'll talk.
it's really, I mean, it's a really fun read. He's a really funny guy, and it's been a great read. But yeah, no, one of the a huge chunk of the book talks about a major debate that raged in ecology. I don't know how strongly the argument is still going now. The book is from like the 90s. But yeah, there was it was a very heated debate in ecology with respect to establishing nature preserves, and the debate is referred to as the single large or several small debate, or SLOS.
Loss.
And it got very heated. People were bussed. Yeah, like it's a real problem because you set aside these nature preserves, and it's like, and you can set aside these huge almost small country-sized reserves, and it's still there's they're still not going to be big enough. And that you need there's been so much research, and some of it quite pessimistic, into just the how insular can a reserve afford to be? The answer is not.
Yeah, think of migratory birds.
Yeah.
Right. Well, is it one of the things where it's like, as it turns out, we can't just do this, so we have to preserve the entire thing.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many species. It's like, even if you can open up this little corridor through an urban area and say, yeah, I know they're connected. There's a lot of species that just won't.
Right.
They don't want to venture outside that safe zone.
What I like about that is when people take an island, and okay, we're going to preserve this island, but then they don't preserve the ocean area around it, and they're like, well, it's land and water, they're different, they're separate.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that. I always come back to this, but the analogy that reminds me of the debate around storing nuclear waste.
Oh yeah.
Where, there's this big problem where we generate a lot of nuclear waste that will remain dangerous for tens of thousands of years. So we need to figure out ways to, basically store and sign it clearly, so that if our civilization fails, then any humans or anyone who comes after us will know not to open up these facilities to get at the presumably precious goo inside.
Oh no.
And so there's all kinds of really good ideas that people had for storing this. You would put these signs outside that would have translations in 40 different languages about exactly what this is and why it's dangerous.
40 whole languages.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
or all the local languages, right? Maybe thousands of languages if you could find some way of doing it. We're really good at that kind of stuff, right? And then people would come along and be like, this is every language that was spoken by these people. This is really valuable. We're going to take it in and put it in a museum. Right? Or maybe you build it into this big, basically unassailable vault. And then eventually it cracks open and people find that is a really useful fortification that they want to go and live in. Or maybe you go a different route and you tell people that you don't need to know what this is. It's just extremely dangerous. We thought we were a powerful civilization and we were not capable of managing what this was. And people are like, oh, we're totally going to load that into a
That's
catapult and fling
literally
it.
the
Yeah.
Pandora's box.
Yeah. So, there was a documentary about this called "This Is Not a Place of Honor," and the conclusion that I believe they came up with was that we just have to preserve the continuity of our civilization over the lifespan of our waste products. That's the only good solution. If you're going to make something like this, then you have to ensure that you're around so that you don't encounter this kind of problems because you can't just wash your hands of something that you've created like this.
Yeah, you have to. So it's like we made this mess. Now we have to clean it up forever.
Ride it out.
Wow.
Try to stick around for your children.
Yeah.
Is that the same? Did that also talk about the song that was made about the cats that glow? About the
I don't know.
Something that they would breed cats that would glow when they came in contact with high radiation, and they made a deliberately catchy song. It was like, "Don't glow, kitty, kitty, da 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 da," so that it would become a folk knowledge that would pass on, so they know when the cats are glowing, you need to go away from there.
Wow,
Like
that's
that.
genius. I love it.
Or irradiated cats.
Poor radiated kitten.
It's a really cute song, though.
If you want to preserve knowledge, put it into song.
Mm.
Yeah.